Hello, how are you? In this moment, I am going to talk about how to organize a good class, a good space when you want to teach a good English. In this moment, I am going to mention some topics or techniques when you need to teach a good English. For example, proximity, propriety, movements, contact. That is, make eye contact because it's something important. Audibility, organization in class, when you are speaking about, for example, group work or paid work, because it's a good tool when you are in class and you need they can learn so much about different topics like grammar and vocabulary or expressions, because in that way they can discuss, they can organize different things or viewpoints about how to use some things or topics when they need to speak a good English. Okay, let's begin right now. For example, proximity for me is a good, I don't know, can say a proximity is like when you try to connect a good relationship with the students. Sometimes in the classroom you can get a good relationship with them. It's much better because they can receive a good information from you when you are teaching English, when you are teaching something new and something important, something you want. They can learn so much. Okay, a privacy is something good and important as well, because in that way is when you try to say that all the things in a good way, and they can receive the information in a good way as well, and they can learn so much. Contact in that way is when you are speaking about the make eye contact with them, is when you try to say to them something about how to answer, or when you want to make some questions to them. You don't know in that moment who is the correct students can answer that question. That is something important, and you try to make eye contact. Audibility in that way is much better when you try to speak in a good voice. And they can receive and they can understand good when you are speaking, when you are explaining to them something important, or when you are associating something. They can learn, they can receive the information in a good way. Organization in class is when you try to organize in that way. For example, you know what is the level of English of them. For example, when you are speaking with people or students, they have that level is not good. It's a low level, it's not a high level. In that way, you try to mix with them by themselves and try to get a good relationship. In that way they can receive information and try to discuss the topic in class, because it's good. That's why is perfect when you try to organize in groups where one student is smarter than others, because it's much better in that way. He or she can explain to the other students is in a good way. Is a good tool as well, because it's something it helps to you when you are teaching, when you are explaining something some students can't understand clearly to you. In that way they can receive that information. So if, for example, group work or paid work, in that way you can use those tools, because they can discuss all the topics, discuss all the doubts they have in that moment, and after they can learn so much about that. And after the students tell you, hey teacher, I can understand clearly that part, in this moment I can organize a sentence in English and try to speak in a good way, because that is the main goal when you try to speak that topic in class, when the topic is a little hard in that way. When you are in class, you can organize the groups, for example, other rows, or house show, in that way it's a whole show, or in a circle, or separate tables. It depends as well, because when you have a good group with a good behavior, you can organize in different ways. They can learn, they can understand you all the time. But if you have to get a good tool and try to organize in a good position, for example, horse show, but they don't do good the homework in that moment, or receive the information, or paying attention to you in that moment, because in this moment it's very hard. It's very hard, but you try to get some positions, some ideas where you can to explain. You can explain to them in another way, and try to give them a good activity. They can learn, they can receive that learning, and after, when you are making a good test, you can take good grades from them. That is the point. That is something good. In this moment, I feel very happy, for example, in my place where I am working, because in that way I am receiving a lot of experience. I can learn so much every day, and how to organize my class and try to apply something new, games, different activities, and try to make a good relationship with them, and try to organize, for example, different things. In that way they can receive information and they practice English. They can learn how to speak a good English after, because in this moment you know that it's very, very important to speak this language nowadays around the world, because that is the point. And try to practice every day. Okay guys, thank you for watching my video. The point is, and try to organize your ideas, or you can learn so much about how to speak, or teach, or explain, or ask different things in English all the time. Blessings.